Most men have become weak. We already know that. But 100 years ago, this wasn't the case. Men were strong and ambitious. They protected and provided for their family, and they had strong values. Nowadays, men just go through life not knowing what to do, deprived of love and intimacy, weak and complaining all the time, and simply wasting time. Family has lost its value it has had in the past, so most men don't have anything to strive for. They just play games on their phone and jack off multiple times a day. If you're one of these weak guys, do you really think your ancestors would be proud of you? Hell no. So why do you still sit there, crying and complaining about why life is so hard and unfair? Grow some fucking balls and face reality. You're probably the weakest man of your entire bloodline, and if you continue staying weak, then the rest of your life will simply be very bad. The average 20-year-old has the same amount of testosterone as an 80-year-old from 30 years ago. Isn't this sad? We are living in times where most men are behaving like girls, crying in public, complaining all the time, just being fat and looking like shit. Providing for your woman so she doesn't have to work and can raise your children is seen as wrong nowadays. Instead, women can do everything men can do. If all men were strong, then we wouldn't have the problems in the world we would have now. There wouldn't be any wars. Civilization would develop way faster, and there wouldn't be so many depressed and lonely men. There's a quote which perfectly describes this. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. The suicide rate of men has never been that high in history. We are living in the most comfortable times, but ironically, these are also the most depressed times of many men. So how do you get out there? By working on yourself to become a stronger and better man. Build an aesthetic body, meditate, eat healthy, pursue your goals and your purpose, get better with women, and so on. By just sitting there on your dirty ass computer chair and complaining about why everything is so unfair won't get you far. It has never been easier to rise to the top because there's simply no competition. Even when you're only exercising twice a week, you have surpassed 80% of people already. You can use this to your advantage. Truth is, the bottom 90% of men have nothing. They are depressed, have no money, they look like shit, and they have zero success with women. The top 10% of men though have everything. They have all the women, lots of money, they look good, and are happy and fulfilled. You probably know the quote that 90% of women sleep with the top 10% of men. If you belong to the bottom 90% of men, then you will be lonely and be unsuccessful with girls and relationships. But if you get into the top percent of men, then you will literally have an abundance of women and your life will be great. Excuses don't bring you forward. You can blame everything on genetics or life circumstances, but truth is, the only thing that will bring you out of your dark hole is simply working hard on improving yourself as well as your life. If you want more no bullshit and unfiltered content like this, then don't forget to subscribe.